guys, welcome to an all-new episode of Wrestling Figure Wednesday. Today I'll be reviewing the Figures Toy Company Ring of Honor Hanson and Raymond Rowe, also known as War Machine, or you might recognize them as the Viking Raiders of Eric and Ivar. Very excited to get these considering we have not seen a single glimpse of them from Mattel yet, which is very interesting. I'm sure they are working on them and I'm sure they'll be beautiful figures. I really like them a lot, and I think they'll make amazing action figures, and these are really cool. Sure, they're the old Jack style, so they're a little bit bigger than all your current Mattel figures, but they still look really nice, and I think they did a really nice job. The cloth goods on them is really, really cool, and I'm sure you could eventually transfer those over to the Elites whenever those eventually come out. So that being said, let's take a look at them in the packaging. So here's Hanson, here's Raymond Rowe, or Eric and Ivar. You can see them pictured on the side. There's a plastic wrap just to protect them in transit when they're packed. I just left it on as it looks nice. You can see them both in their standard packaging, just in a standard pose. On the back, talks a little bit about each one of them and then shows a lot of the other figures that they offer. So if you want some Ring of Honor figures, be sure to check out the Figures Toy Company website at Wrestling Superstore. They make a ton of guys, some of them who are currently in WWE, and others who are still in Ring of Honor, and even some that are in AEW and stuff. So there's a lot of people, many I don't even know as I don't watch Ring of Honor, but I love the Viking Raiders. I think they're awesome guys and anxious, super anxious for action figures, so this was the next best option until Mattel ends up making Elites, so extra articulation will be awesome. So anyway, that being said, let's take a look at them fresh out of the packaging. Alright guys, so here are the Figures Toy Company Viking Raiders. I'm just going to call them by their WWE name as that's what I personally know them much better by. Fresh out of the packaging. Overall, they are really cool. They are very fragile though, is what I am noticing. More so Eric is versus Ivar as his tattoos. I'm not sure the decals that they use to put his tattoos on his arms, but when I bent this arm, his tattoos started to crumble off a little bit, so be very careful. I'm just not sure how they apply them, so it makes it fragile. You can still pose it, but be careful, as I'll show you in a bit. But regardless, besides the fact they're Jack style, it reminds me a lot of my childhood, which is a throwback for me with all my Jax figures, so it's just cool to have them in that form. Of course, they're not Elites, but for a Jack style figure, they're pretty nice. Some of their part choices, mostly just the hands, is what bothers me, is they use like glove molds for Ivar, just painted flesh tones, so I wish they had non-glove hands, so to speak, but other than that, he's really cool. I love the entrance attire and everything. They're really nice, gives them a lot of detail, and really makes them pop. And like I said, if you want to, I'm sure you could transfer it over to the Elites when they come out, as I doubt it will be cloth. It'll probably be plastic or rubber nonetheless on those, whatever lifetime we see those. But in the meantime, these awesome figures will hold you over. So I'll show you Ivar first. So here's his head scan. Looks pretty good. It's a little loose, I think, just because it rests higher, as you can see under here. It's because his beard is so long, it would restrict his head movement otherwise if it was all the way down, as it's really stiff plastic. There's no give to the beard, so that's probably why they did that, just so you can move it. Regardless, he looks nice. You can see the different color of hair going down the front there. There's just the back of his head, and then he has his entrance gear. Unfortunately, it did stain mine. I don't know if they all come like that, so that's just something to be aware of. Yeah, it's disappointed. That's the old Jax issue, though, as you know, just with the plastic. Regardless, this is really nice. Really like the look of it. You can remove it. I'm going to leave it on for the sake of the review, but you can take it off if you want. And he's got this going around his waist. I don't even know what to really call it, so my apologies, but it's really cool. They went all out with it, which is really nice. So that's always a big plus to these figures, is the cloth goods, as I know a lot of people like that a lot, including myself. So if you want to remove it, it easily slides down, so you can probably put it back on just as easily. Forgot to show you his hands, so This is my only real frustration. As you can see, it's like a glove mold, but painted flesh tone. That's for both hands. It must just be like a bigger guy hands that they used. But he's pretty cool. This is one thing that bugs me a little bit too, just because I'm so conscious about my figures and my photography and stuff. So, just something to be aware of. Underneath, he's got his red trunks. He's got his knee pads, excuse me, that sit lower than his knee. I don't know if he wore it like that in Ring of Honor, but at least it doesn't restrict his movement at all. He's got his black boots with the laces that are molded. Very nicely detailed, so very cool. And then the ankle joints, of course, that go up and down. This one's a little stiff, so I don't want to force it too bad. There we go. Got it. So this one's probably my favorite. Just a really, really cool, beefy figure. I love it. I just love when the toy companies go all out on a big, chunky figure, as they usually just put a lot of effort into them. It's really cool. So now we have Eric. So he looks great. No staining from what I could tell on him. Scan looks pretty good too. He's got his like shoulder piece, which is also removable if you want to. Just gotta pop it off over his head and whatnot. You can see the detail in his tattoos, and his stomach too, and his arms. So here's where the issue really comes into play, is that the decals, as you can see, they're right over the joints, which is where the problem comes in, so I just don't know how it's applied. But if you look here, you can see it's like peeling off. Yeah, some of it is coming off in my fingers right here, which is disappointing. So I gotta be really, really careful with him. He still looks really nice though. The detail is great. Just doesn't stay on as well as I wished it would. But you could still move the joints, as you can see, but see how the tattoo is peeling a little bit. I'm sure most people aren't really playing with these anyway, but just be careful if you are. But anyway, he does even have cloth like wristbands, which is really cool. He's got the wrist joints. He has the right hand, so no issue there. And he too has like his waist accessory here with the logo on the front as well, which is really cool. And it does unvelcro here if you want to remove it. On the back it says Row. He's got his elbow pad as well. Tattoo up here. Don't remember if I showed you that. And then just his knee pads. And then it says Row on his kick pads. And that right there is your Viking Raiders, or War Machine, from Ring of Honor. They're both very nice for their style. I think Figures Toy Company did a nice job as they could on these, considering their style and everything like that. My only really complaint is just the hands, and then of course the decals, but I don't know if they could even adjust the decal issue, because they do not print tattoos like Mattel does, so I'm not sure what's involved with that process. But regardless, these are two really nice figures to display. It will definitely hold me over until their Mattel figures come out too. Forgot to mention, they also come with a table too, a breakaway table. So Ivar comes with this, so if you need a table, it's a nice accessory. And yeah, look for some photography of them on my Instagram. Thanks for watching. Be sure to like Wrestling Figure Wednesday on Facebook to suggest future reviews you'd like to see me do, and I'll see you soon. Thanks. Like this video? Be sure to like, comment, and subscribe for more. And check out my latest videos. For all your wrestling figure needs, check out ringsidecollectibles.com.